So this evening, I just wanted to begin by sharing a few words about, you know, when deep feelings arise, when difficult feelings arise, because I know some of the sharings that we've had recently have been about that, and we all experience difficult feelings at times, myself included, and I think one of the great misunderstandings of spirituality is that we're trying to bypass these feelings. We're just trying to get rid of these feelings. And nothing could be further than the truth, actually. In fact, what we're trying to do here is to open to the fullness, the full spectrum of our feelings, the fullness of ourselves. But we're trying to do that without becoming identified there and without getting caught inside a kind of victim identity around it. If we feel that we're somebody who is always angry or always sad or always in fear, then we're trying not to get caught in that. But we're trying to allow a space where these feelings can arise, we can be with them, we can allow them, but that we don't identify with them. And inherent within that means that we begin to discover something else inside us. Something that can be with these feelings, but is not conditioned by them. And I spoke on Saturday, I think I spoke, and I said that really there are these three phases that I'm speaking about. And the first phase is discovering the spiritual heart. Because without discovering the spiritual heart, we will not have enough ground in us to face ourselves. We will just not be able to do it. And the spiritual heart and the I am and presence, they're all synonymous, they're all the same. So first, finding that place of conscious presence in us, which is able to just allow things without getting caught inside them. And that, to a certain extent, is an ongoing process. There's no end to that in one way. We're always going to be experiencing feelings and emotions, and we're always going to have to hold the ground of conscious presence for them. The second stage that I spoke about on Saturday was about discovering the source of these feelings, discovering the source of presence, that which I'm referring to as the self, pure self, that which is the same in every circumstance, which is always present, totally unchanging. And we are so one with that often we're searching for it, but we are it. And the recognition of that is a non-dual recognition. It's not one thing finding another thing. It's something waking up to itself. It's something realizing itself. And that is what is called self-realization. Realizing who and what we are, what we truly are. And then the third stage, which is very much linked to the first stage, is bringing that realization into our humanness. So we meet all parts of ourselves. We meet our trauma. We meet the parts of ourselves that we've had to repress and deny. And that keeps our spirituality very much alive, very curious, very real. And, we're going to have plenty of opportunity to practice, because basically, life is one big roller coaster to a certain extent. If you're living in the world, it is. There's always things happening. Some things great, some things difficult. Something's nurturing, something's jarring. But if we are authentic in our search for truth, then we will learn and we will be able to use whatever is arising to deepen into ourself. And I often speak about the inner child here because I feel like for many of us that is so important. It's so important that we open to that part of ourselves as well. And many of us were deeply wounded as children. We were abandoned or rejected, or we were not treated in the way that would have been, let's say, the most nurturing for us. So we also have to own and recover that part of ourselves. So a lot of work, a lot of things to do within the realization of something that is already here, something that is already present. And this is the great paradox of spirituality, where it's very possible to have had an awakening on the level of heart and mind, yet still be very emotionally unstable, yet still be very emotionally immature. So here I'm encouraging and opening to all of it. If I could sum this teaching up in one sentence, I would say this: it is embracing our humanness from and as the light of consciousness. That is this teaching in a nutshell. Embracing our humanness from and as the light of consciousness. That sums it up in a sentence.